Arizona Wildlife Views, brought to you by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses and the Heritage Fund, lottery dollars working for wildlife. Some projects made possible by the Sportfish and Wildlife Restoration Fund.
Find bird. Let's go.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildlife Views. I'm your host, Jim Harkin. We have a big show for you tonight, beginning with a group of youngsters and their mentors on a first-of-its-kind turkey hunt in the beautiful pines of northern Arizona.
Still fan out just like that.
It's a demonstration. Let's see if you learned anything.
I think it's great. I mean, everyone gets to come out here and have a great time. I mean, there's free food. Everyone gets to have some fun. And if they need assistance, they have it here. I think it's great.
It's not a price you can put on a smile on a kid's face when they're enjoying the outdoors for the first time.
I know my son was able to bring a turkey back to camp, and it had really just an amazing effect on my son. And he came away, and it's the first time he's ever said it. He goes, "You know what, Dad? I love the outdoors."
All you have to do is look at these kids and the smiles on their faces when they come in and talk about seeing a turkey and hearing a turkey and having them get close and listening to them spit and drum and watching them strut. You know, their faces just light up. It's worth it all just for that. Turkey Federation is really excited about being able to participate in this first ever turkey hunting camp for youth. It's a wonderful experience for these kids to be able to come out. So many of them are first-time hunters that it's really exciting to see these kids be able to enjoy the outdoors, be able to enjoy nature, hear a turkey gobble, maybe even get a shot at a turkey. It's pretty incredible.
The Arizona Game and Fish Department's been working hard to explore ways to provide more opportunity for youth in the state of Arizona, which is a critical aspect for the future of wildlife management because of the declining rate of participation by not only adults but children. As we looked at our hunt guidelines and our turkey hunt structure, we realized that the rate of harvest on our male turkeys in the population was relatively conservative compared to some other western states, as well as conservative compared to the biologically sustainable removal rate of males in the population. Because of that, the department realized that we had more opportunity out there to harvest more gobblers. That, combined with the realization that it's one of the most important things we do as a department to provide opportunities for youth and family to engage in the outdoors, led us to this over-the-counter youth hunt opportunities for spring gobblers.
It's a win-win for the kids, and that's part of the mission of a lot of our organizations. The ADA's here today, the Chandler Rod and Gun Club, and all of our missions have a statement in them about hunter heritage, passing on to future generations. And that's why we're here. I've had people call and say, "Why are the out guys doing a turkey camp?" You know, and it's you know, even though it's not an elk thing, it's hunter heritage, it's hunter opportunity for the kids, and it's passing on what we like to do to the kids. So it is part of our mission.
Try tipping it this way and bringing it towards you.
The box call, the slate, yeah, I've used a lot of it.
Very good. See, you're getting it.
To me, there's so much more pleasure in taking a first timer out than there is in actually harvesting a bird yourself. You know, to see the look on their face, that something they have no experience with before, and to get them out there and get them enthused and excited and really enjoying the activity is, to me, way better than actually, you know, having the tag and doing it yourself. It's what all of us ought to be doing that are interested in making sure that our hunting traditions are continued into the future. That's how we're going to make sure that it happens, is by getting our youth out there and helping them be successful and get excited about it.
From the high country, we now travel to Canyon Lake, where there is no shortage of new home construction. Well, new home construction for fish, that is.
Armed with hammers, pliers, sunscreen, and a burning desire to make a difference, hundreds of men, women, and children dove into Canyon Lake for a massive fish habitat improvement project. No, there wasn't any water to get in their way. In September of 2007, Canyon Lake water level was drawn down approximately 50 feet to allow for repairs and maintenance of the dam. The very low water level presented a great opportunity to fix more of Canyon Lake than just the dam. Volunteers and fisheries crews were able to create artificial fish habitat in the lake. Time was short, so the race was on. In 2 short months, November and December of 2007, hundreds of fish-loving anglers from Arizona Bass Federation and other interested groups toiled feverishly to get the work done before the lake began to fill once more. Here's a little history. When a new lake is formed, existing plants are covered with water, providing both food and shelter for the fish. Fish grow fat and happy. But as the lake ages, the woody material deteriorates. Little by little, the habitat disappears, and with no place to hide or food to eat, so do fish populations. 48 years after Canyon Lake was formed, woody fish habitat, such as underwater trees, was severely lacking in the lake. The newly installed habitat structures will replace natural hiding cover and provide shelter for structure-seeking fish species such as large and smallmouth bass, black crappie, bluegill, sunfish, and channel catfish. New habitat structures are less than 10 feet tall and are constructed 25 feet below the high water mark so that as the lake refills, the structures won't be in the way of watercraft and boaters when the lake's water levels change. While the department has tried numerous construction techniques and designs in other lakes around Arizona, they opted for Pisces pyramids at Canyon Lake. Construction of the pyramids involves binding 3 wooden pallets together to form what looks like a teepee. Next, 10 cement blocks are attached inside the triangle, and finally, 3 recycled Christmas trees are tied to the sides of the pyramid. The Christmas trees and wooden pallets are the materials of choice to provide solid foundations because they're durable, inexpensive, and you can find plenty of them for this type of project. The pieces of the pyramids are held together with 3-foot zip ties. A galvanized steel cable is used to tie several habitat units together, and in some cases, duckbill anchors are used to further affix the pyramids to the lake bed. Once built, the pyramids are clumped together in groups rather than in lines or rows because the wooden pallet frames and natural cover of the trees has proven to be effective in attracting a wide variety of fish species. It's estimated that these pyramids will last up to 10 years depending on boat anchor use and future reservoir maintenance and construction. More than 1,500 Christmas trees were donated by the Tim Mitchell Tree Farms in Scottsdale the day after Christmas. Altogether, a total of 1,200 pallets, 4,450 cement blocks, 3,000 Christmas trees, 4,750 zip ties, and 1,050 feet of 1/8-inch galvanized cable were used on the project. Major demands are being placed upon Arizona's natural resources and resource managers every day as Arizona continues to be one of the fastest growing states in the nation. The department continually serves the people of Arizona as stewards of their natural resources. Fish, wildlife, and their habitats are a public trust which is managed by the department and its partners for the benefit of present and future Arizonans.
The blisters and sore muscles were well worth the effort that these heroes put forth. With all the pressures exerted on our waterways, from increased usage to golden algae, this restoration project is a prime example of the department's mission to preserve and restore habitats, even aquatic ones. Now we head to the Ben Avery shooting facility and meet up with some Olympic archers at the Arizona Cup. The Arizona Cup is an annual outdoor target archery tournament. It began in 1989 at Arizona State University, moved to Tucson, and returned to Phoenix in 2001. The Arizona Cup has been used as a qualifier for the United States archery team, and it's also a world ranking tournament. Currently held at the Ben Avery Shooting Facility's FIDA range, our cameras met up with two members of the 2008 Olympic archery team and talked about how they started in archery. Jennifer Nichols started shooting archery at the age of 9 after her father bought her and her siblings compound bows from Walmart for Christmas.
We started shooting in our front yard, and soon our whole family was involved, both mom and dad, and it was just a fun activity that we could enjoy on Sunday afternoon.
That same year, they were introduced to the local Junior Olympic Archery Development, or JOAD Club.
We decided this would be something fun to get into and maybe start competing in, and so we started to become involved, and there is where I became involved with the recurve bow, and I learned how to shoot with proper technique, and I started attending my first competitions, and I just loved competition. I loved the challenge of trying to better my score every single event, and the idea that I was competing against myself. I had one of my coaches suggest to me that I should try out for the Olympic team someday when I was about 15 years old, and I kind of stuck that in the back of my head and thought, oh, that would be cool, you know, to try for that. And after I turned 17 and graduated from high school, I decided to wait on college. The Olympic Games were only 2 years away, 3 years, and I decided to pursue archery seriously. And that's when I was introduced to my current coach, Alexander Kirilov, and I started getting professional training. And he had me practicing, and it soon became a full-time job. And before I knew it, 2004 rolled around and I made my first Olympic team. Went to Athens and competed, and then decided, well, I can hold off on college another 4 years, and continued shooting full-time, and made my second Olympic team last year in 2008, and went to Beijing to compete.
Raised in Payson, Brady Ellison is a world-class athlete that has traveled quite extensively during his brief career.
I'm actually really blessed. I thank God every day for the places I've been able to go. Been to almost all the states shooting archery, but I've been to several countries, Australia and Korea, England, Denmark, go to Turkey every year. I've been to Italy, went down to Brazil for the Pan Am Games last year, or 2 years ago, and then I went to China last year for the Olympics. So I've actually been blessed and been travel a lot of places that I don't think I ever would have been if I wouldn't be shooting archery today.
Brady mainly started shooting because his dad hunted and he wanted to hunt with him, and it just developed from there.
I started off hunting with my family. My whole entire family, they're big hunters, and I started off with a bow hunting and to do that kind of thing with my family, and it kind of grew from there. I started hunting, or practicing to hunt, and then started shooting 3Ds and stuff like that. I went to a couple of national shoots when I was probably 10 or 11 in the 3D thing back in West Virginia and Georgia. Went to Vegas the next year, had a lot of fun doing that, and then someone in Vegas told me I needed to shoot FIDA. So I was like, oh, we'll try FIDA, because they had a couple here in Arizona. And went and shot the FIDAs and really started liking it, so I started shooting a lot more FIDAs and stuff like that with my compound. And it got to where I was starting to be pretty competitive in the juniors and stuff like that. And then I made my first junior world team in 2004 and went over there and brought home a team gold. And then next year in 2005, I went to Denmark on the world indoor team, and I brought home 2 gold medals, one individual and one team.
Brady's Olympic start began with one broken string. While at a camp in 2005, Brady had a malfunction with his equipment in the form of a snapped string. Unable to fix it, he waited for his parents to send along a backup bow. While waiting, a friend allowed him to use one of his recurve bows.
And I didn't shoot too bad with it, but the coaches out there told me I need to switch from a compound to a recurve. So I came home and talked to my parents about it, and we talked about like the benefits of it. You know, I can make an Olympic team or go for the Olympics or do that sort of thing if I switch to a recurve. So he said, yeah, why don't we try it? So at the end of 2005, I think it was pretty much October of 2005, I picked up a recurve for the first time, started shooting a little bit, and then I moved out to the training center in January of 2006, and I've been there since then training for the Olympics under Coach Kiesik Lee. But it just kind of developed. One stage led to one thing and then to another thing, and now I'm sitting here and made an Olympic team and, you know, just shooting a recurve now and enjoying life.
In addition to being world-class athletes, Jennifer and Brady are also perfect spokespeople for their sport, and they have a message for up-and-coming archers.
You don't have to be any specific body type in order to shoot archery, which makes it a great sport. It's really open to anyone and everyone. Also with incredible longevity. I mean, we have people who are able to shoot for years.
Well, I started shooting, won my first state championship in the state of Washington, shooting bear bow. That's with no sights. And so that was in 1953. So this is 209, so that's at least. I've been shooting 2 weeks for sure.
We had people on our Olympic team for the last 2 Olympics who were in their 50s, and then we had a 19-year-old also on our Olympic team last year. So it has just a wide range of ages and is really a cool sport to get into, no matter your age or body type.
What I would tell any young kid is have fun. Archery is such a fun sport. It's something that you could do anytime. I mean, you could do it from until you're 5 years old all the way up until you're 100. It's a sport for everyone. It's a lot of fun. So, to the young kids out there, just, pick up a bow and have fun with it. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. Just go out there and enjoy yourself.
Really, archery is great for both guys and girls, and I think actually girls can have a real knack for it because they have a lot of attention to detail, which can sometimes be more characteristic of girls, and so I think it is a great sport for females to get into, and the fact that you compete against other girls, we're not competing in the guys division, it would just be great for us to have more women involved and to expand the competitive archery field here in the United States.
Today, the Arizona Wildlife Viewing Guide takes us to the Colorado River, where the variety of wildlife is matched only by the beauty of the sunsets. Early morning at the Cibola National Wildlife Refuge is a treat for the eyes as well as the ears. The cacophony of calls from geese mixed with cranes is an experience every outdoor enthusiast needs to enjoy. Cibola National Wildlife Refuge was established in 1964 to restore and protect historic habitat and wintering grounds for migratory birds and other wildlife. The refuge is located in the floodplain of the lower Colorado River and surrounded by a fringe of desert ridges and washouts.
Now, the refuge, it's a little hard to find. You've got to watch the signs that are off the interstate. If you're in the Blythe area, basically what you want to do is you want to find Neighbors Boulevard. Come right off the interstate and come due south about 20 miles. And we are just south of the little town of Cibola.
The refuge is best known as winter home to flocks of Canada and snow geese, as well as sandhill cranes. A quick stop at the visitor center will get one oriented to the refuge.
Pretty much in the wintertime, we're open 7 days a week. We're open from about 8 in the morning till about 4:30 in the afternoon. And when our birds leave us, long about the end of March, we cut our hours down to just Monday through Friday and close the visitor center on the weekend. And as you can imagine, with the heat the way it is in the summertime around here, we don't have a whole lot of visitation during the summertime.
A favorite jumping off point is Goose Loop. Located just off the visitor center, the Goose Loop allows visitors to drive through acres of fields close enough for a good view of feeding birds. The visitor with patience and a good pair of binoculars is sure to see some amazing displays.
We start getting our birds coming down the flyway in about October, early October. Cranes are probably some of the first arrivals to show up here, along with some of the duck species. And by the time December rolls around, which we're about the second week of December right now, we've got the sandhill cranes, we've got Canada geese, we've got the snow geese, and then just numerous other ducks.
While at Cibola National Wildlife Refuge, be sure to visit the Cibola Lake Overlook, located at the southern end of the refuge. Grebes, ducks, pelicans, and both snow and Canada geese are usually visible at the overlook. Cibola Lake is closed from Labor Day to March 15th in order to provide the wintering waterfowl a safe and undisturbed place to roost. But you can enjoy them from a distance on the overlook. Another visitor, the northern harrier, glides over the fields searching for his morning meal. But birds aren't the only wildlife on display here. Coyotes, mule deer, and the occasional fox can also be seen.
I was on the tour loop this morning, and there's coyotes mixing around with mule deer and a whole lot of different species just out there all at one time. It really truly is, in a sense, a wildlife refuge.
Like most refuges, Cibola National Wildlife Refuge is operated under the multiple use concept.
You know, a refuge, whenever it's established, in fact, this goes with many refuges, they're not only established for one reason, that would be either photography or wildlife viewing or interpretation or whatever. They're established for a lot of different interests.
Because of the river's life-sustaining water, wildlife here survive in an environment that reaches 120 degrees in the summer and receives an average of only 2 inches of rain per year. We invite you to visit and enjoy the many wildlife-oriented activities that the refuge has to offer, and enjoy the scenic beauty of this oasis in the desert. Okay, what's friendly, loyal, and blonde? In our continuing series on sporting dogs in Arizona, let me introduce you to the Yellow Lab.
This is Harry. He's a 3-year-old yellow Labrador retriever. He's a very versatile dog. We do conformation, we do obedience, we do rally. We've started some agility. We do a little bit of tracking and field work as well. He enjoys the lakes. He's not much of a swimming pool dog. He enjoys lakes or rivers. He's the outdoor dog, but it's just instinct. The first time I took him out, he was 4 months old. It's almost like he knew what to do. We had small pigeons and some doves, and he just went nuts. As soon as he saw him flapping around, he went nuts. He was all excited. He knew what he was supposed to do. That was the neat thing about it. He's undergoing training right now. We're doing some field work and training, and pretty soon we'll take him out and get him maybe a NARA title or a junior hunter title with AKC. They're wonderful pets. Small children, you have to watch just because you might have jumping as an issue, and they don't realize that they're big, but they're wonderful family pets. They're loyal, they're dependable, they're not snappy. They can put up with kids pulling ears or tails. Labs are known as chewers when they are younger. A lot of times in lab rescue, that's one of the reasons why the dogs are returned into lab rescue as digging and chewing, but it's just kind of something you live with. If you keep them busy when they're puppies, they usually don't have time to get into trouble. They need a job, so either obedience, conformation, some type of training, even walks out in the desert, out in your neighborhood. But yeah, I've gone through Labradors eating siding on the house, numerous garden hoses, things taking out the doggy door, and you find them a week later out in the backyard somewhere that they decide. Having Labradors, sometimes they'll retrieve sprinklers when they are on and bring them in the doggy door into the house.
And that's our show for this evening. If you have questions about anything you saw on the show, go to our website at azgfd.gov. For producers Carol Lind and Gary Schaefer, I'm your host Jim Harkin. We'll see you next time.